And with that, it's time to Tin Chat once again, episode number 9 for the 2024 campaign. You know the man, that's Michael Jeffrey Maz, the Fort Wayne TinCaps play-by-play announcer for the radio. And Mike, we're doing this one a little bit earlier than normal, but it hasn't been a wonderful start to the week for our Fort Wayne TinCaps here. They took 2 of 6 up in Wisconsin last week after blowing a couple leads early in the week. We talked about that last Thursday night. But a rough start against the worst team in the league here, Mike. They've dropped 2 in a row here to Peoria, Tuesday night in extra innings, and then tonight blowing a 3-run lead in the middle innings.
It's been rough, and I think we may have to go back briefly to the Wisconsin series and to finish that series off. 6-game series where the TinCaps had the lead in the 8th inning in 4 of the 6 games. Yeah. They won only 1 of those 4, and the 2 games that they didn't have the lead, they won 1 and lost 1. And but they got 2 wins out of the 6 up in Appleton. They come home, and I think the thought was and the hopes were that, well, we've got Peoria coming into town. They've won only 16 games for the entire season.
Yeah.
And maybe they underestimated the Chiefs. Maybe they overestimated their thought process.
And, you know, we talked about it a little bit last week, Mike. You can't overlook anybody in this league.
No.
No matter the numbers that show up in the win-loss column. And I don't know if Fort Wayne's done that, if they just thought they were going to come in and kind of walk all over them this week, but it's been a rough start, and hopefully, you know, things are going to get better here for the next 4. Mike, some other housekeeping to take care of. Obviously, a guy we've talked about plenty on this program here through the first 8 episodes of the season, Miguel Cienfuegos getting a much-deserved promotion, if not, albeit a little surprising, all the way up to AAA. And, you know, again, it's a guy we've talked about plenty, Mike. He was very steady for a lot of this season for this team, and finally getting a much-deserved promotion at the age of 27 up to AAA.
I'm really happy for him. He's getting that chance. We've talked about this before. His age could be looked at as a detriment. He's at 27 years of age, and he's just now getting his chance, but he has pitched so well. His last 2 starts here with the TinCaps, he went 7 innings on each start. And
I was going to say the arm doesn't have a lot of miles, Mike, because he took those couple years off and stepped away from baseball for a little bit.
Not only the arm is better, the mind is better.
Yes, it is.
And he's worked hard, very hard, set an example not only on the mound but in the clubhouse with the rest of his the pitching staff. And I can't think of many times you've had a promotion. Normally it's 1 step up the ladder.
Yeah.
He goes 2 from high A, bypassing double A, goes right to triple A. And I really think if he pitches as well as he pitched the last several starts here in Fort Wayne, he could be a September call-up for the Padres.
Yeah, it's always a possibility. And speaking of promotions, we've seen 2 players already from last year's 2023 High A Fort Wayne TinCaps team make it to the big leagues already this year, Mike. Obviously, Jackson Merrill has, been an everyday player almost for the San Diego Padres so far this year, just 1 year removed from being here in High A with Fort Wayne. Graham Pauley started the year up with the big club when they made their trip overseas. But now, Mike, we get to add one more to that list as well. Adam Mazur, a pitcher on the team last year, called up earlier this week, made his big league debut with the San Diego Padres. Again, just 1 year removed from being here in High A.
He got his debut against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He went 6 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits, walked 4, struck out 2, got a no decision. But I recall hearing on MLB Network Radio, which I listened to a lot, the so-called experts thought he did a marvelous job for his first major league start, and the future is bright for him. But we saw him last year, and he was not only a talented pitcher in terms of what he has available to throw, a smart pitcher.
Yeah, he was the Big Ten pitcher of the year when he was at Iowa. Came right to Fort Wayne practically, it seemed like just right out of college almost.
Yeah.
And Mike, he was really good for the Fort Wayne TinCaps last year. Obviously, why he got promoted a couple of times, but he was 4-1, had a 2.02 ERA, and just another example of a guy that we saw that was going to be a dude at some point, and it appeared to be here in on early June here in the 2024 season for Adam Mazur.
And the thing is he's in his early 20s. The benefit of playing college baseball is coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
And it worked for Adam Mazur. And what I mean is the fact that from a maturity standpoint and a thinking standpoint, and it's amazing to see the success rate that some of these players have had, like a Mazur, like a Cienfuegos this year. And that's the fun part, to see these kids, and I call them kids because you know how old I am. I'm trying to catch Methuselah, but they know what they want to do. They know now there's more than one way to accomplish that goal, and it's fun to see them utilizing all the talents they have to get to that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And John Nolan actually got a chance to catch up with Adam Mazur about his time here in the Summit City last year, earlier this season. Here's a little bit of that interview.
I mean, it was one of the nicest parks I played at the whole time last year. It was top of the notch. Like the fans there were great, the atmosphere was amazing, and just like the playing surface was unreal. So it was a great time playing there last year.
And for your few months in Fort Wayne, any specific outing for yourself or moment as a team stand out?
For me, myself, I'd say the Dayton start. It was really the first time I brought out the curveball and had it as a working pitch, so I was happy with that. But other than that, it was just fun to show up to the park every day with the guys and just hang out there.
All right, thanks to John for taking a look back at Adam Mazur's time here in the Summit City, and thanks to Adam for taking a few minutes for John earlier in the year. Mike, we talked about it a lot, we've harped on it a lot, but the success that we have seen, from Fort Wayne TinCaps going from the 2.60 to the show has been outstanding. Adam Mazur, the 224th all-time, and I believe it's either 43 or 44 already this season that are in the big leagues.
It's amazing. You think of Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. I believe it's in the top 90 in terms of population in the country. But what are this franchise turning out all these players, and there are a number of these players that are performing at the highest level, and we're proud to say we had a small part in their development in making it to what I call the promised land.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mike, talking back about this year's team, we mentioned it a little bit, but the first half coming to an end here very, very fast. Couple more games here left at home against Peoria. Hopefully things turn around a little bit, but then we hit the road next week for 6 more over at Lake County.
Yeah, there's a chance for Lake County to claim the first half Eastern title, a chance for the TinCaps to be spoilers. And then all of a sudden, when we get together next week, we're looking at just a handful of games left in the half, and then it's getting right into the second half. We can talk more about that next week.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it, Mike, at this point in the year now. The first half, coming to an end and where they are in the standings. Right now, it's about building some momentum heading into the second half so they can try and make a run like they did last year for that second half title to try and make a push for the playoffs. And, we've seen it. They've got a group that can do it.
They really do. And, again, it's going to take a little looking yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
A little soul-searching, and just to get the fight back in you that you had when you went to spring training.
Yeah, absolutely is. All right, that's going to do it for another edition of TinChattin. As always, he's Mike. I'm Justin. We're back same time, same place next week.